You say that last name a little louder, please? Quill? Did you say Quill? Oh, G-U. I thought you said Q-U. Okay, I got it. That's all right. Thank you. Is that you, or are you just here on that case? Thank you. And then over here, what case are you here for, ma'am?
Flannery.
Thank you. And then finally in the back.
You are.
Is that Orlando?
Yeah.
Okay. And we were, that's the case that, there was an attorney here on that. Who was that? As Mr. Osser, that's right. We're still waiting for that.
I'm still here, Judge. Thank you.
Okay, we're still waiting for the interpreter. And actually in the front, what case are you here for?
Roy Benningfield and David Allen Benningfield Jr.
Got it. All right. Ms. Breslau, it looks like you're still on the Zoom call. Unless you have another client, you're free to go, of course.
Yes, Your Honor. I just wanted to mention I am not retained on the matter, but one of the individuals who is on Zoom had contacted my office, doesn't intend to hire. So I'd be happy to step in as a friend of the court. It does sound like it's going to be a dismissal for blood for Mr. Green.
Brennan Green? Is that what you're talking? Okay, what's happening with that?
That'll be dismissed pending talks, Your Honor.
All right, is he in custody?
I'm not sure at this point.
He is
So,
in custody.
yeah, there he is. Mr. Green is there right there. What about, so it looks like he's here on 3 things. Is the state dismissing the infraction? Speeding ticket. So the criminal cases, the case ending in 747 and the case ending in 748 will both be dismissed and he's free to go. But then there's a speeding ticket. And I think the state is seeking some, Mr. Green, can you come on the Zoom call, please?
Yes, I'm right here.
Thank you. So the criminal cases are going to be dismissed without prejudice, which means they could be refiled at some point in the future. Still waiting for the speeding ticket.
The state's not going to take any position.
Okay, so the speeding ticket's still there. You should have got a citation on that speeding ticket. You need to respond to that within a certain period of time. So, and if you don't, then it'll go as a committed infraction. So don't go to sleep on the speeding ticket, all right?
Yes, Your Honor.
You can consult with Ms. Breslau if you wish on that, but the criminal cases will be dismissed. And you're free to go.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you, Your Honor.
You're welcome. Mr. Wright, you're back. And so apparently the state was going to add some, I don't know, let's hear from the state. They wanted to say something. Mr. Lindgren?
I was mistaken, Your Honor, when I said the exact charges that the state was going to be seeking probable cause for. We will not be proceeding on the harassment.
Okay.
We are proceeding on the stalking, domestic violence, reckless endangerment, domestic violence, and the reckless driving.
Okay. Did you hear all that there, Ms. Griffin?
How about he repeats it one more time for me, but more slowly?
And a little louder.
Your Honor, the state will not be proceeding on the harassment. The state will be proceeding on the stalking, domestic violence, the reckless endangerment, domestic violence, and the reckless driving.
Your Honor, we would be objecting to probable cause with respect to the stalking, the reckless endangerment, as well as the reckless driving. There's nothing in the record, the police report, to indicate that there was reckless driving or reckless endangerment. And with respect to the stalking charge, that requires a course of conduct, and this was in reference to one singular incident. So we would be objecting to probable cause with respect to each charge today.
Okay, give me just a moment.
No, there's no probable cause.
And Your Honor, when you're ready to hear it, I do have a
Okay,
response.
just hear me. Let me finish, please. Okay, so I've reviewed the police report. Go ahead there, Mr.
Your Honor, the stalking statute is an or standard. There's multiple different ways that it can be invoked. Under prong 3, 1A3, this is RCW 9A.46.110. Stalking is intentionally contacts, follows, tracks, or monitors, or attempts to contact, follow, track, or monitor another person after being given actual notice that the person does not want to be contacted, followed, or tracked. In this case, Mr. Wright, or the victim in this case, has had 4 prior restraining orders against Mr. Wright in the past 6 years. That does, I would say, serve as sufficient notice that they do not want to be contacted by Mr. Wright. The victim has expressed substantial fear for her and her children's safety. The most recent no contact order expired just in April of this year. Now, less than 3 months later, Mr. Wright is following her, taking photos and video of her while driving on 101. She was only able to escape by calling 911 and driving to Washington State Patrol headquarters to escape him. She indicates that she lives in fear of Mr. Wright. So in this case, he has had actual notice that she does not wish to be contacted, and yet he has contacted her and filmed her and followed her in this case.
And so reckless driving and reckless endangerment also, I mean, you're not asking for harassment against anyone else, is that
No.
correct? So the harassment charge can be dismissed, is that
Yes.
also correct?
That is correct.
Okay, so what about the other charges of reckless endangerment and reckless driving?
The reckless endangerment, Your Honor, and reckless driving stems from the driving as it unfolded on 101. The fact that he was following her, I believe, relatively closely. And throughout the reckless driving, he was both texting the victim repeatedly and also filming her, which essentially was dividing his focus as he drove erratically in pursuit of the victim.
Indication of how fast they were going?
Apologies.
I thought I saw in there at 70 miles an hour at some point. No, it's no charges filed. We're just doing probable cause. It's just, see where it says no charges filed, it's on that. The case ending in 586 is going to be dismissed. Is that? Okay.
Yes, Your Honor, 70 miles per hour.
So Ms. Griffin, I'll give you the final word here on the issue of probable cause.
Thank you, Your Honor. Oh. Give me just one moment, Your Honor. Your Honor, we would maintain our objection that what's been described in the police report is not sufficient to establish reckless endangerment or reckless driving. And with respect to the stalking charge, we would also still maintain that objection. I don't think an expired no contact order is sufficient notice for Mr. Wright under these circumstances.
I'm going to find probable cause for, how old are these children, actually, before you do that?
They are 11 and 9 years old, Your Honor.
Okay. And so I'm going to find probable cause for stalking and reckless driving. This time I'm not going to find probable cause for reckless endangerment. The basis for the stalking charge is indicated by Mr. Lindgren. Given Mr. Wright's history and the number of no contact orders that have been in place, he should know by now that this person wants no part of him. And I think most people would understand that to begin following that person around, coming on the heels of a recently expired no contact order, they're going to be bothered by that. And in fact, based on the police report, she was. The driving in excess of the speed limit on 101, while at the same time manipulating phones in terms of texting, filming, and things of that sort is, and again, at this point, for terms of probable cause, doesn't mean it can be shown beyond a reasonable doubt, but that's sufficient to find reckless driving in my view, and I'll find probable cause for that as well. But again, at this time, I'm not finding reckless endangerment, and but the state can proceed if they wish to do that. But I'm just not and any conditions won't attach to that charge. So we're going to set for an arraignment. We're going to set an arraignment on a week from Wednesday, which is July 16th. And then Ms. Griffin, did you discuss with him his legal rights?
I did advise him of his legal rights.
Got it. And then we're also going to set conditions of release. I'm going to hear from the state on conditions, and then I'll hear from you there, Ms. Griffin.
Your Honor, I've already laid out some of the history between these parties. Due to concerns about the safety of the victims in this case, and in this case also her children, the state is asking for $5,000 bail, no new law violations, no firearms or dangerous weapons, and an NCO.
Ms. Griffin,
Your Honor, we would not be objecting to the no contact order, but we would strongly object to the $5,000 bail. Given Mr. Wright's financial circumstances, that would be tantamount to a no bail hold, and so we would be asking that he's released on his personal recognizance today.
given the history, had numerous orders over the years, numerous violations. I do find that he's a threat to the safety of the protected party. I'm going to set bail in the amount requested by the state at 5,000 cash or bond. If that's posted, he's not to have any criminal law violations. He's not to possess a firearm or other deadly weapon. And I am signing a no contact order that forbids you from having any contact with Jessica Escato. Do you understand that, Mr. Wright?
Yes, sir.
No contact means no contact. No calling, no texting, no emailing. If you happen to run into her on randomly on a highway or the street, you turn around and drive away. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
I haven't already said so. I will appoint Thurston County Public Defense to represent you. And I heard what Ms. Griffin said about your financial conditions, but on the other hand, and I understand 5,000 cash or bond, that's a lot if you don't have it or unable to post a bond, but that's not entirely unmakeable either. So if you make that bail, you need to be back here on July 16th at 8:30 and comply completely with the no contact order. Do you have a or did you provide a cell phone we could send text reminders to, Ms. Griffin?
Yes, he provided a number.
That's it for today. You can be taken back. See you back here on the 16th. What are you talking about? Can't hear you. Yep, there's no contact. There's a cell phone right there. And Mr. Osser, just for your benefit, I'm told that the interpreter's in the other courtroom, and then when they're done with the interpreter, then it'll come to this courtroom. So apparently we had interpreter cases in both courtrooms. Sorry about that. Thank you for your patience there, but I'll let you know when they're here.
Understood. Thank you, Judge.
Mr. Shevsky, could you find out why that person's here? Ms. Moore, who's seated next to you?
Your Honor, this is Mr. Cordell. His matter is, let's see, number 8 on the calendar.
For an arraignment on 2 counts of violation of a protection order.
Yes, Your Honor, I've advised Mr. Cordell of his rights. I do believe he understands them. We would not be contesting probable cause for today's purposes only, although I will note, while we maintain his innocence, it does sound from the allegations like any violation of the provisions may have been due to a misunderstanding and was not intentional. I would ask that the court enter pleas of not guilty to both charges and appoint public defense. He's had public defense appointed on a recent Superior Court case and is his entire income is Social Security.
Is the Superior Court case, I see there's an order active in that case. Is that the same
Yes.
There's
Yes,
two
Your Honor.
orders, and that's the same, okay.
Mhm.
So, Mr. Cordell, you're now charged with 2 counts of violation of a no contact order. Those are both gross misdemeanors, which carry with them maximum penalties of 364 days in jail and a $5,000 fine. And did you say you explained to him his legal rights there, Ms. Moore?
Yes, we discussed those, Your Honor, yes. I don't believe you had any
He's a-
questions.
Go ahead, please. If not guilty, you'll be entered on both cases. We're going to set conditions of release. I will appoint Thurston County Public Defense represent you. Did you provide a cell phone number for text reminding?
Not yet, Your Honor. I will get that in just a moment.
Thank you. And then I will appoint Thurston County Public Defense to represent him. Mr. Lindgren, what's the state's position on conditions of release?
State request PR release, no new law violations, and abide by the existing no contact order, Your Honor.
Ms. Moore?
There's no objection to PR when sort of existing conditions such as they are for anyone living in the world. And as to a phone number, Your Honor, Mr. Cordell just got a new phone and does not have the number committed to memory yet, but he does know how to reach public defense. I think I
Okay.
gave you my card,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So we will update the court with that, or he will whenever he does know. I also
What-
don't believe he has a good mailing address.
Yes. I have a good
You,
one.
you do, okay.
So is that mailing address, is that on McCormick Road in Rochester?
No, it's P.O. Box 123, Rochester, 985.
123
Correct.
in Rochester?
Yes,
What's the zip code?
98579.
Thank you. And then your next court date's going to be August 13th at 9:30. And then when you get a cell phone, make sure you provide it to the court, provide it to your attorney, so we can send you a text reminder. What's alleged to have happened here?
No, he doesn't want to hear from you.
Okay, Ms. Moore, you can tell me if Mr.
Yeah,
Just again, these are just allegations. Don't
We would
tell me
all
what.
advise you to remain silent, that's
Yeah,
all. Your Honor, I mean, I guess I would generally look to the state to sort of establish allegations, but my understanding is that it's alleged that Mr. Cordell was staying in a tent just off of a very large property.
Got it.
And,
Okay, that's all I need to know. I just want to know what the allegations are, just because. Anyway, it's your responsibility to maintain compliance with any existing no contact order. Do you understand that, Mr. Cordell?
Yes, I do.
So you need to be extra careful, and we'll see you back here on August 13th at 9:30.
August 13th, 9:30.
Yep,
give you paperwork that says that as well.
Okay.
All right, thank you, Your Honor.
you're welcome.
Miss Roberta Backstrom's matters, they were already dismissed.
They
Is that
were.
correct?
Was that who that was?
Yes, Your Honor.
You can tell, we can print those orders and you can give them to her if you wish.
That would be great, actually.
And let her know that they may subject to be refiled. Thank you.
Yes, Your Honor.
Say that again, please. I know, I think I've signed off on it already. Yeah. But is he still in the break? Don't bring him in here, but is he still, okay? We're just waiting for. There's a Michael Kraus on the, what case are you here for, Mr. Kraus?
I'm here for a warrant quash.
What time are you scheduled to be here?
2:30.
All right, hang on just a second.
Yes, sir.
Don't worry. You have a piece of paper that has your court date on it?
Me?
Yeah.
I just have my court date was, I believe, not last Monday, but the Monday before
Okay.
that.
No, I meant your upcoming court. I have good news and bad news for you.
Yes, sir.
The good news is you're early. The bad news is you're 2 days early. Your court date is set for Wednesday at 2:30.
Oh, it is the 9th. It is the 9th. Oh,
Yep.
okay.
All right. You're free to go. We'll see you back here on Wednesday.
All right. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Bye.
Ms. Moore, who's seated next to you up there?
Your Honor, this is Ms. Brady. I believe that her attorney is Mr. Coker, who's on Zoom.
There you go. Mr. Coker, you can come on the Zoom call.
Good afternoon, Your Honor. I'm going to appear for Miss Brady this afternoon. And Your Honor, we will, it's a violation. I think the allegations violation of anti-harassment protection are waived for the reading of rights. We'll stipulate the probable cause purposes hearing only, and we'll just ask that a plea of not guilty be entered.
Give me just a second. And then looks like there's a backup also.
There should be an SOC from 2024.
Got it. That's the case ending in 211.
Correct. And I will be appearing on both of those.
Got it. And so Ms. Brady, on the new case ending in 620, alleged to have occurred on July 7th, you're now charged with one count of violation of an anti-harassment or protection order. That's a gross misdemeanor, which carries with it a maximum penalty of 364 days in jail and a $5,000 fine. A plea of not guilty will be entered. This matter will get set for future hearing. We're going to set conditions of release. We may address conditions of release in the older case also. And then I'm going to hear from the state first, and then I'll hear from Mr. Coker and Mr. Lindgren.
Your Honor, before I begin, I think that the victim may be here wanting to speak today on the new case.
Who is that?
That
They didn't identify themselves when I went through the, is anybody here on the Stacey Brady case? Yeah, I didn't, because I went through it, I kind of pulled the court and I don't see anybody. No, they're not here yet. Go ahead.
Are we speaking to conditions of release on the new case, Your Honor?
On both.
Yes, okay, on the new case, Your Honor, the state would have no objection to PR release, no new law violations, and abide by the existing no contact order.
And then on any objection, you just want the older case to track?
The older case can track, Your Honor, yes.
Okay. What's alleged to have happened here?
Your Honor, just from a little background on this, there's an ongoing, it's a neighbor dispute. I've gotten some information. It was basically verbal in nature. The alleged victim in this case has a tendency to film my client and her family from her property, and I think that unfortunately the allegations are that Miss Brady may have made a comment or something along those lines.
I've got it. So, ma'am, you're going to be on both of these. You'll be released on your personal recognizance. On the new case, don't have any criminal law violations. Comply with any existing no contact order, and it's your responsibility to make sure that you comply with all the parameters of that order. Do you understand that, ma'am?
Yes, Your Honor.
And also make all your court dates. Your next court date is going to be
Tuesday,
August 12th at 9 a.m. Does that work for your calendar there, Mr. Coker?
I will make it work, Your Honor.
We'll just set up for pre-FTC. Don't worry about it. On the older case, that'll just be set for a pre-FTC, and it'll just be all prior conditions remain, be released on that also, and we'll handle that on the same date.
Sounds good, Your Honor. Thank you. And Stacy, I'll be in touch as soon as you get out, okay?
No, before you go though, do we have a phone number for text reminding? Maybe it's in
Stacy,
the
you want
older
to give the
case.
court your number for text?
Yes, because I do have, yes. Are you ready? Who do I give it to?
Yeah, go ahead.
360-790-2886.
Great.
Okay. Thank you, ma'am. You'll get released here later today. We'll see you back here in August. Be a great idea for you to consult with Mr. Coker before your next court hearing. So everyone's on the same page to how these cases are going to be handled when you're back here.
We'll make sure that
You'll get
happens, Your
released.
Honor.
You'll get released later today. You're free to be taken back. Mr. Coker, you're free to go.
Thank you, Your Honor. Have a good rest of your day.
Thank you, you too. Ms. Moore, sorry. Would you mind letting the jail know that we now have a Spanish interpreter? And so when he's ready to, Mr. Ulloa is ready to be brought
Yes,
back.
absolutely.
And so just your client, Mr. Osser?
It is, Judge. Thank you.
You're welcome. So you're Orlando, is it Ulloa Cabral?
¿Es usted Orlando Ulloa Cabral?
Yes, señor.
Yes, Your Honor.
And then, Mr. Osser, did you get a chance to discuss with him his legal rights, or do you wish to have me advise him formally?
Judge, I have not.
Your Honor, I did advise him of his rights earlier.
Okay.
Le preguntaron al abogado Asser que si es que le había explicado sus derechos y la abogada que está sentada junto a usted dijo que ella le había explicado ya sus derechos.
Do you have any questions about those rights, Mr. Ulloa Cabral?
¿Tiene usted alguna pregunta sobre sus derechos, señor Ulloa Cabral?
No, está todo entendido.
No, I understood everything.
You're now charged with 3 counts of aiming or discharging a firearm and 3 counts of reckless endangerment.
Usted está acusado con 3 cargos de haber apuntado un arma de fuego a alguien y 3 cargos de haber hecho. What was the second 3 charges of what was the second one?
Reckless endangerment.
De haber puesto en peligro con total descuido. Haber puesto en peligro.
Those are all gross misdemeanors,
Esos son todos delitos graves,
which carry with them maximum penalties of 364 days in jail and a $5,000 fine.
y que tiene una sentencia máxima de 364 días de cárcel y hasta $5,000 de multa.
Pleas of not guilty will be entered.
Le vamos a poner una declaración de no culpable
We're going to set conditions of release.
y le vamos a poner condiciones en su libertad.
And Your Honor, we'd like to be heard with respect to probable cause.
I'm going to get there.
Thank you.
Quisiera
And actually, I'm there now. Mr. Lindgren has previously been sworn. I'll hear from him on probable cause, and then I'll allow you to respond, Mr. Osser.
Tomado y le voy a tomar
Thank you, Judge.
la declaración después de usted, señor Asser.
Your Honor, in this case, the reporting party, who I believe is the defendant's nephew, contacted police. What he told police is that.
So you need to break this up for the interpreter, please.
Oh, thank you.
La persona que dio la demanda o la queja fue el sobrino, after the nephew.
What the nephew contacted police, what he said was that his uncle, Mr. Ulloa Cabral, was shooting bullets towards his house.
El sobrino llamó a decir que el tío, el señor Ulloa Cabral, estaba haciendo disparos afuera de la casa. Estaba disparando.
When law enforcement arrived on the scene, 2 males were found behind a trailer parked on the property.
Cuando la policía llegó al sitio, encontraron a 2 hombres sentados atrás.
The males failed to comply with several orders to come out with hands up.
Los sujetos no obedecieron varias órdenes de que salgan con las manos en alto.
Both were detained. One male identified himself verbally as Orlando Ulloa Cabral.
A los 2 se identificó y el uno se identificó verbalmente como Orlando Ulloa Cabral.
The other was determined to not be the suspect.
El otro no era el sospechoso.
The reporting party, Jonathan Rodriguez, stated that he, that night prior to the incident, he had seen several incoming calls from Orlando to his mother.
What was his name?
Jonathan Rodriguez.
Jonathan Rodriguez dijo que él había estado en la casa ahí con su madre.
He ignored the calls and went to sleep. He woke up after hearing a gunshot outside his residence.
Y que trató de llamarle varias veces al tío, pero que no tuvo resultado en la llamada, y que después se quedó dormido y como se despertó, como que habían disparos afuera.
Jonathan's other uncle, Ubaldo, lives next to that property.
El otro tío de Jonathan, Ubaldo, vive en el otro lado de la calle.
Ubaldo stated that he heard gunshots outside and observed Orlando in the front yard.
Él dijo que escuchó los disparos fuera de la casa y que vio a su primo o hermano Orlando Ulloa Cabral afuera en el frente de la casa.
Orlando did not disclose to Ubaldo why he was discharging the firearm. When he heard sirens, Orlando stashed the gun under a trailer parked on the property.
Orlando no dio ninguna explicación de por qué estaba haciendo los disparos, y cuando escuchó las sirenas de la policía puso el arma debajo del tráiler, a un lado abajo.
Orlando and Ubaldo then moved behind a trailer on the property until police arrived.
Y entonces los dos se mudaron a la parte de atrás hasta que llegó la policía.
Police located a 9mm firearm under the trailer that Ubaldo had indicated, along with 5 spent shell casings in close proximity to each other.
La policía encontró un arma de calibre 9.5 y 5 balas, cuestiones de balas.
Anything further?
The only thing, Your Honor, no reason has been given to why the firearm was discharged. Nothing further, Your Honor.
Lo único que quiero decir es que no había no dieron ninguna explicación del por qué se habían disparado las armas, y eso es todo.
And the 3 counts stem from?
I believe it's from the multiple discharges of the firearm, Your Honor.
Y los 3 cargos se dan 3 debido a supuestamente el número de veces que hubieron los disparos.
Mr. Osserer, go ahead.
Señor Usher, sí.
Thank you, Your Honor. The complaint filed by Deputy Weston alleges in counts 1 through 3
La queja que tiene alega en los cargos 1, 2, 3
that Mr. Eloy Cabral aimed a firearm at or towards specific individuals.
es la alegación de que el señor Ulloa Cabral apuntó el arma a diferentes personas.
And in counts 4 through 6
Y los cargos de 4 a 6
alleges that he created a substantial risk of death or serious physical injury.
Hay una alegación de que él causó serio peligro de muerte
to those 3 same individuals.
a estos mismos 3 individuos.
I've received a copy of Officer Taylor Briscoe's report, which was the basis for the state's resuscitation for probable cause.
Leí todo lo que dice el oficial Taylor Briscoe, y que está puesto ahí todas las cosas que se usaron para hacer causa probable.
And that report lacks any indication that Mr. Oloya Cabral ever pointed a firearm at any individual.
Y en ese reporte no hay ninguna indicación de que diga que el señor Ulloa Cabral haya apuntado el arma a ninguna persona.
Or created a substantial risk of death of any individual.
O que haya creado una posibilidad alta de muerte de algún individuo.
In fact, on page 3 of the narrative report,
En realidad, en la página 3 del narrativo,
Officer Briscoe notes that he observed no damage to any house or vehicle.
el oficial Briscoe dice que no encontró ningún daño hecho ni a la casa ni a ningún vehículo.
And he states, quote, none of the individuals involved were able to determine what Orlando was shooting at.
Y después dice que ninguna de las personas que estaban allí no sabían hacia dónde estaba disparando el señor Ulloa Cabral.
As currently alleged, there are not facts that he pointed at any of these named individuals or created a substantial risk of death. Thank you, Judge.
Hasta ahora en todo ese reporte no hay ningún indicativo de que él haya apuntado el arma a ninguna de estas personas y haya puesto en peligro de muerte a cualquiera de ellas.
Mr. Lindgren?
Nothing further to contribute, Your Honor. That's.
Nada más de parte de la fiscalía, eso es todo.
I have in front of me the statute of aiming or discharging firearms or dangerous weapons.
Tengo frente a mí la ley que describe el caso de disparar o apuntar armas.
And I see what the information is contained in the complaint.
Veo cuál es la información que está contenida en la queja.
But the statute 1B of 9 RCW 941-230 says willfully a person is, well, go ahead.
Pero en contenido en el artículo 94123 dice que
any person who willfully discharges any firearm, air gun, or other weapon.
Dice que cualquier persona que obviamente o con disposición dispara algún tipo de arma de fuego o alguna otra cosa.
Or throws any deadly missile in a public place.
O tira algún misil peligroso en lugar de alguna bomba o algún aparato explosivo en el sitio de alguna otra persona.
Or in any place where any person might be endangered thereby.
O en cualquier lugar donde está puesto en peligro y por esto está puesto en peligro.
A public place, I'm sorry, Ms. Heredia, sorry. A public place shall not include any location at which firearms are authorized to be lawfully discharged.
Las armas de fuego, dice, no se tienen que considerar. I'm sorry, Your Honor, can you repeat that for the interpreter, please?
Yeah, a public place shall not include any location at which firearms are authorized to be lawfully discharged.
El sitio no tiene que ser puede ser un sitio en el que no hay autorización para disparar arma de fuego.
Given the proximity of Mr. Ulloa Cabral to other relatives,
dado a la ubicación cercana del señor Ulloa Cabral, cercana a
and the
sus
fact
parientes,
that he was observed apparently firing a firearm,
y el hecho de que le observaron aparentemente disparando un arma de fuego,
I will find probable cause under that prong of the statute.
encuentro que sí hay causa probable en esa parte del estatuto de ley.
And allow this, if the state wishes to amend their complaint, they can do that.
Y digo que si el fiscal quiere enmendar el cargo, puede hacerlo.
Given that the latched onto the comment where Mr. Osser said they weren't sure what he was shooting at.
Y basándome en el comentario que el señor Usher dijo que no saben hacia dónde, cuál era el blanco a donde estaba él disparando.
I'm not going to find probable cause for reckless endangerment.
No encuentro causa probable para poner en peligro.
if additional information comes to light, the state can go forward with that, but that's what I'm finding here today.
Si que se encuentra información adicional, entonces la fiscalía puede cambiar el cargo, hacer el cargo. Pero eso es lo que encuentro hoy.
And then there are people in the court here with, I think, involved in this case. Who's here for this case?
Me and his brother are, I'm his sister-in-law.
Okay. And so what's your name? What's the brother's name?
The brother's name is Jose Cabral.
Okay. And then,
cannot hear really well the people talking and they.
okay, apparently his brother and sister-in-law are in court. That's all. And I'm not sure if or how they're involved in this in any way, or whether they're just here in support.
Parece que su hermano y su cuñada están allí presentes y si yo no estoy seguro si es que ellos están aquí para dar alguna información o si están simplemente aquí para apoyarle a él.
And what else did you say, ma'am?
We were just the ones that obtained his lawyer.
Thank you. And they're also the ones apparently who contacted Mr. Osser.
También
So, Mr. Lindgren, I'll hear from you on conditions of release.
Entonces le voy a dar las condiciones de su libertad.
State recommends PR release with no new law violations and no firearms or dangerous weapons.
El Estado recomienda que se le deje salir bajo palabra y que no tenga en su posesión ningún tipo de arma de fuego ni nada, ninguna de las cosas mientras está pendiente el caso.
Pleas of not guilty will be entered on all 3 counts.
Una declaración de no culpable le voy a poner en todos los 3 cargos.
Mr. Osser, did you have any objection to any of those conditions?
Señor Asser, ¿tiene alguna sobre algo que decir sobre estas condiciones?
No, Your Honor, those are appropriate given his lack of history. Thank you.
No, su señoría, estas condiciones son apropiadas dadas al historial.
The state was also, there's 3 no contact orders prepared here. Was the state's not asking for that now?
No, those were prepared proactively, Your Honor.
Okay.
Y si no está preparadas ninguna órdenes de no contacto.
So, Mr. Ulloa Cabral, you're going to be released on your personal recognizance.
Señor Ulloa Cabrera se le va a dejar en libertad bajo su propia palabra.
Conditions of your continued release are you're not to have any criminal law violations.
De que va a cumplir con las condiciones de que no puede cometer ninguna nueva violación de la ley o ninguna violación de la ley.
For the time being, you're not to possess a firearm or other deadly weapon.
Y mientras tanto, usted no puede tener en su posesión ningún arma de fuego ni ninguna otra arma peligrosa, arma mortal.
And make all your court dates.
Y participe y venga a todas las audiencias, a todos los cortes que le llaman.
Your next court date's going to be?
La próxima fecha va a ser
August 12th at 9:05.
el 12 de agosto a las 9:05.
And we will see you back here on that date.
Entonces le vemos de vuelta en esa fecha.
So I'm not entirely sure what's going on here.
No estoy exactamente seguro de qué es lo que está pasando aquí.
But you come here with no criminal history,
Usted
or very little.
Viene sin historial criminal avanzado.
And you need to be really careful out there how you conduct yourself. Do you understand that?
Tiene que tener mucho cuidado de cómo se comporta por ahí afuera. ¿Comprende esto?
He'll get released later
Yes,
today,
I do understand. Hoy día más tarde le van a dejar salir
and his next court date is August 12th at 9:05.
y la próxima fecha que tiene que regresar es el 12 de agosto de 2025.
Do you folks want a copy of that order? One last question. Does he have a cell phone we could send text reminders to?
¿Tiene usted, señor Ulloa Cabral, tiene usted un teléfono celular donde le podemos mandar mensajes?
Sí.
Yes.
We might be able to get it from your sister-in-law. Hang on just a minute, if that's okay with you, Mr. Osser.
That's fine. Thank you, Judge.
Van a recibir de su cuñada.
Do you know it, ma'am?
Yes, I do.
Okay. 360. Mr. Szejewski.
227.
827.
360-827.
2406.
2406.
You'll get released here later today. That'll conclude the hearing here for today. We'll give a copy of release order to your brother and sister-in-law.
Va a salir en libertad un poco más tarde y le vamos a dar una hoja de estas a su cuñada. Ya
Thank
puede
you, Your Honor.
retirarse.
You're welcome. Thank you for your patience there, Mr. Hosser.
Thank you for your assistance, Ms. Moore and Ms. Heredia. Have a good day.
Thank you.
No problem. Have a good afternoon.
You can be taken back.
Ya se puede retirar.
What's that? I think so. Ms. Heredia, I think that's it for you. I think we only had one.
Yes, Your Honor. Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You're free to go.
Okay, thank you. Bye-bye.
Ms. Moore, who's seated next to you up there?
Your Honor, this is Ms. Mason. I believe that Mr. Stashevsky spoke with her and will be addressing her matter.
You're Jessica Mason.
Your Honor.
Mr. Tashevsky, do you wish to discuss with her legal rights? Or do you wish to have me
Your
advise
Honor,
her
I met
formally?
with Ms. Mason this morning. I advised her of her constitutional rights. I do believe Ms. Mason understands those rights.
Go ahead.
We are seeking the appointment of Thurston County Public Defense. I do believe Ms. Mason qualifies statutorily, Your Honor. For the purposes of today's hearing, we are not contesting probable cause. And we would request that the court enter a not guilty plea on Ms. Mason's behalf.
So Ms. Mason, you are Jessica Mason.
Yes, sir.
You're now charged with one count of driving under the influence of alcohol and or drugs. That's a gross misdemeanor, which carries with it a maximum penalty of 364 days in jail and a $5,000 fine. Plea of not guilty will be entered. We're going to set conditions of release. You're also here on an infraction, improper lane usage. That'll track with the DUI. I will appoint Thurston County Public Defense to represent you on the DUI. And we're going to set conditions of release. I'm going to hear from the state. Following that, I'll hear from Mr. Tashevsky.
Your Honor, the state recommends PR release under standard DUI conditions.
No objection, Your Honor.
Ma'am, you're going to be released on your personal recognizance. Conditions of your continued release are: don't have any criminal law violations, don't drive without license or insurance, don't consume any alcohol or have any controlled substances without a valid prescription. Do you understand that?
Yes, Your Honor.
No drinking until a judge says otherwise. No controlled substances without a valid prescription. Stay out of bars and taverns. Don't refuse a breath test. Do make all your court dates. Your next court date's going to be August 13th at 9:30. I will appoint Thurston County Public Defense to represent you. You should get contact information from Ms. Moore there. And then wait about a week, contact that office, discuss your case with who's ever assigned to represent you. So when you're back here in August, there's a plan in place for how the case is going to be handled. Did you provide someone, Mr. Stashevsky, was that you?
Yes, Your Honor. I provided Madam Clerk with a phone number and an address.
That's it for today, ma'am. You'll be taken
Sir?
back. You can be taken back.
Sir, may I ask a question?
Yes?
So am I allowed to drive right now or no?
Well, not without license or insurance. You need to, sometimes, automatic suspension comes in, administrative suspension. So you can drive as long as you're appropriately licensed and insured, but you need to check with DOL on that.
Okay. Yes, sir.
Because getting caught, charged, has some driver's license implications. And I'm not going to give you advice one way or the other. I don't want to be wrong. And you need to check with DOL on all of that. Or discuss all this with your attorney. I've appointed Thurston County Public Defense to represent you. Discuss all this with whoever's assigned to your case.
Yes, sir. All right, thank you.
Ashley, number 23, Ashley Will. We did that one, didn't we? Or no, did we not? Okay, all right. Yeah, that's right. That's someone in court for that. What's that? No, there's no, yeah, but there's only like 12 people. Yep. Ms. Griffin, who's seated next to you up there?
Your Honor, I'm here with Ashley, is it Gill? I'm here with
I believe it's
Ashley.
Will, I'm told.
It looks like it's matter number 23 on the calendar.
And so you're Ashley Gwill? So ma'am, your name is Ashley Gwill? I need you to answer me out loud.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Do you review your legal rights on this sheet of paper, or did you discuss them with Ms. Griffin?
Yes.
Any questions about any of your, of any of those rights?
No.
Give me just a second. Given the amount of money you make, I'll appoint Thurston County Public Defense to represent you. But I'll require that you pay $200 to defray the cost. You're kind of on the edge of public defense funding, but so that's what I'll do here for today. You're charged with 1 count of assault in the 4th degree, domestic violence related. That's a gross misdemeanor, which carries with it a maximum penalty of 364 days in jail and a $5,000 fine. Ms. Griffin, did you have a position on probable cause?
We'll be stipulating a probable cause for the purposes of this hearing only.
So a plea of not guilty will be entered. This matter will get set for future hearing. We're going to set conditions of release. I'm going to hear from the state, and then I'll hear from Ms. Griffin.
Your Honor, begging the court's forgiveness here, could we possibly return to Ms. Gwill's matter? The state's not quite ready on its conditions of release for this one.
Do you have an ETA as to when those?
We should be able to do it. I mean, I would imagine at most 10 minutes from now.
Why?
It was added slightly late to the docket, Your Honor. This one just fell through the cracks for us, but we can figure it out in short order.
On an in-custody calendar this big, I would submit that 10 minutes is not short order. So Ms. Gwill, I'm just going to have you step outside the room here for a few minutes, and then we're going to continue on. I mean, we're barely halfway through the calendar, and we're not going to, you know, it always seems like when people show up, their cases are always called last. I don't know why that is. It just seems to happen that way. And I apologize to everyone in court, but Ms. Gwill, you're going to step out. Mr. Lindgren, do what you can. And then is there somebody else ready who can come in? I'd rather not have everything come to a screeching halt for the next 10 minutes, if that can be avoided.
We have other individuals ready to go.
Bring them on. Sorry, ma'am, in the back. And let me know when you're ready, then I'll let them know to recall her.
Thank you.
Your Honor,
Ms.
this is
Moore?
Yes, Your Honor, this is Ms. Thompson. I believe that Mr. Stachewski will be handling her matter.
Is that Alexandra Thompson?
Yes.
So you're here on a preliminary appearance on a domestic violence related matter. Give me just a second. Right. And so, Mr. Shashevsky, did you review with her legal rights?
I did, Your Honor, and I believe Ms. Thompson understands her constitutional protections.
Is she seeking court-appointed counsel?
No, Your Honor, Ms. Thompson intends to hire a private attorney to assist her in this matter.
Okay. And so for what is the state seeking probable cause?
Assault for domestic violence, Your Honor.
Any comment as to probable cause, Mr. Stashevsky?
Your Honor, for the purposes of today's hearing, today's hearing only, defense is not contesting probable cause.
So, ma'am, I'm going to find probable cause for assault in the 4th degree domestic violence related. That is a gross misdemeanor, which carries with it a maximum penalty of 364 days in jail and a $5,000 fine. We're going to set conditions of release. We're also going to set an arraignment date. I'm not going to appoint an attorney at the moment, although that can be readdressed at some point in the future. I'm going to hear from the state on conditions, and then I'll hear from Ms. Moore. Mr. Lindgren.
Before I begin, Your Honor, I believe the victim, Chet Spencer Thompson, is present in court to speak on this matter.
Okay.
The state is seeking PR release with no new law violations, no firearms or deadly weapons, and an NCO for the victim.
So, and then there's Mr. Thompson, who remind me who that is. Is that you, sir? You can come on up there. Do you wish to be heard on this?
I just am asking for a dismissal of the NCO. She's a stay-at-home mom, and I work. And it's for us to
Go ahead and take a seat there. So you have kids?
Yes, we have
How
a
many
3-year-old
kids?
and a 7-year-old.
Okay. And then, how long have you been married?
8 years.
Or are you married? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. What's the state's position on the request from Mr. Thompson?
The state is going to maintain its request for a no contact order.
What do you do, sir?
I work in finance at Olympia Nissan.
I see. Give me just a minute. And Ms. Moore, what's your position on Mr. Thompson's request here?
And Your Honor, that I can speak to that.
Mr. Shashevsky, sorry.
No, that's
Sorry about
understandable,
that.
Your Honor. Defense would contest the imposition of a no contact order. Defense would argue that the no contact order in this specific case is not warranted. I say that on Mr. Thompson's representations to the court today, that he's not in physical fear for his safety. I also highlight for the court's attention that Ms. Thompson has no criminal state in Washington State that I'm aware of, Your Honor. And just Ms. Thompson, in my conversation with her, related that they do have 2 younger children that they both care about and love. And Mr. Thompson, I believe, with his work, can work irregular hours, and that Ms. Thompson is the stay-at-home primary caretaker. And so it'd be particularly burdensome for the family were she to not be able to be there to be for the kids. And then I would just highlight the allegations in the police report. I believe what is related is which we defense contests, but what is related is a slap. And for those reasons, defense would request that a no contact order not be imposed.
Give me just a second. So did this, were you in an RV at some point?
Yeah, we have a camper in our driveway.
I see.
Yeah.
And it looked like it sounded like that there was an argument earlier and then it was resurrected and then next thing you know, here we are. I don't want you to talk about what's alleged to have happened, but is that kind of a fair assessment of what went on?
That is correct, Your Honor.
Ms. Thompson, what's your perspective on this? I mean, don't talk about what happened, but
I'm terrified for my kids. I've never been away from them for this long ever. I love them and I think that I'm a wonderful mother and I'm sorry that I didn't go to
okay,
a
I don't want you to talk about, don't talk about what happened. I don't want you to get into that right now.
I'm sorry that my kids are in this position. But I don't think my husband's unsafe. I won't bother him. I
Okay,
just
well, hang on just a second. You can stop, ma'am. You know,
I
you're
say-
the defendant here. And so here's where we're at. So you're going to be released on your personal recognizance. Conditions of your continued release are don't have any criminal law violations, don't possess a firearm or other deadly weapon. We're going to set an arraignment on July 16th at 9 a.m. You need to be back here on that date. So at this time, ma'am, based on the comments of you, and I've reviewed again, these are just allegations. This doesn't happen very often, but I'm not going to enter a no contact order at this time. Okay. So but I'm going to speak a little bit more on that. You know, I heard what you said about you haven't been away from your children for all that long. And, you know, and I appreciate that. That's a fairly, you know, reasonable approach to all this. But you need to not have, you know, there's these no contact orders. I've already said I'm not going to order one. You know, they serve two purposes in the sense that they want to keep the protected party safe. I'm fairly satisfied that he's going to be safe based on what I've heard and what the allegations are. But they also want to keep you, the defendants, out of trouble. You understand that?
Yes.
And so you need to conduct yourself in the manner that you don't want to put yourself in a position where you're talking to me again over the video camera, if you know what I mean. Do you understand that? At the same time, I've seen, you know, there was an argument, a disagreement over, I'm not asking what it was about, but it doesn't really say. You know, sometimes I see people use, you know, try and manipulate situation. Well, you know, if you don't do what I say, then I'm going to report this, that your violation, you know, there's additional problems. So I expect you to be on your best behavior as well. Do you understand that?
Understand, Your Honor.
We'll see you back here on July 16th at 9 a.m., ma'am.
Thank you.
You'll get released here later today.
Thank you.
You want a copy of that release order? I can give it to you in a second there, Mr. You can go back and sit down in the courtroom. He'll bring it to you. And you can be taken back there, Ms. Thompson. Where we at on Ms. Gwill?
We should be ready to go, Your Honor.
I'm sorry.
We should be ready to go, Your Honor. Thank you for your patience.
You can bring Ms. Will back in if she happens to be standing by. Did you go out that door?
I think somebody did just go out that door.
Yeah. Try and direct them out the right door. You might get lost back there.
All right, Your Honor, we're here with Ms. Gwil.
Okay. And so if memory serves, I'm not sure that it does. A plea of not guilty had been entered, and we were about to set conditions of release. And I'll hear from the state.
Your Honor, in this case, the investigation in this case revealed that the defendant allegedly struck her son, who was 11 years old, in the mouth several times, more than once, causing injuries. The detective assigned to this case learned that a forensic interview had occurred where the victim informed the interview that the defendant and victim were cleaning up at church. And the defendant told the victim to move faster and make eye contact while speaking. The victim did not make eye contact. Defendant found this disrespectful. The victim said that the defendant then pushed the victim into a wall and struck him. The victim said that he was struck around 20 to 30 times and that the smacks were hard and that it struck him in the face and that his face was bloody. I believe this occurred prior to contact with officers, I think several days prior. This is the story that was given by the victim. So in this case, due to major safety concerns for the victim, the fact, the severity of the allegations here, the state is seeking $10,000 bail with no new law violations, no firearms, dangerous weapons, and an NCO for the victim, which should be in Laserfish.
Where's the child now?
I'm not sure, Your Honor.
With his dad. Thank you. Ms. Griffin?
Your Honor, we would strongly object to a bail amount of $10,000. That's incredibly excessive, especially given that Ms. Gwil does not have a history of allegations related to the one here. That would be incredibly disproportionate given her current financial situation. And we would not object to the other conditions, but the $10,000 bail is we would strongly be objecting to that.
How old's this child?
11.
Thank you. Is there a parenting plan in place in terms of who's the primary custodial parent and all of that?
I'm not aware of the details.
Okay, so someone might be.
Yeah.
Is there, what's the general?
As of right now, we have 50-50. And we had just gone to family court on, it was on a Thursday, I'm not sure the date. We were supposed to go back on July 24th. We were supposed to continue the 50-50 with stipulations that there be no physical punishment and that I don't leave him unattended. So currently we still have 50-50 custody.
Okay. And when were you in court most recently?
The Thursday before the 3rd.
Was that after, I mean, this was alleged to have occurred on June 22nd. So was this after that?
This was after that, yes, sir.
And was the family court made aware of what's alleged in this case?
I am not sure. It was stated that there was an open case.
But they were aware of the allegations of assault.
Yes.
Thank you. So ma'am, again, you come before the court with no criminal history of any sort. Looks like there was a charge from back in 2018 that was dismissed. We got a sheet on her. Are you working right now, ma'am?
Yes, sir. I have 3 jobs.
What are they?
I work at Safeway, Faith Lutheran Church, and I do DoorDash on my days off from those.
And this occurred in the Lutheran church, allegedly?
Yes.
Alleged to have occurred?
Allegedly, yes.
Okay, yeah, but I think I may have given it back to you. And then what's your relationship with her, ma'am? Your friend?
9 years.
All right. And then 200, yeah, that's right, I imposed 200.
Paying for private school for herself.
Well, was this considered for a felony referral or goes just, did anybody look at
I'm
that?
not sure, Your Honor. I'm a little puzzled about that myself, but it's here today.
So here's what's going to happen, ma'am. Given the lack of criminal history, I'm not going to set bail. I'm going to allow you to be released, but you're to have no criminal law violations, don't possess a firearm, and you're not to have any contact with that child. You understand that?
I
With
do.
regard to public safety, and again, I might be, the no contact order is going to control contact with the child. And frankly, I don't even care what the family court says at this point. Given there's a court order right now out of this court that you're not to have any contact with that child till we change that. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
Your next court date's going to be August 13th at 8:30. And that's it for today.
Thank you.
You have, actually, did you provide did we have the cell phone and all that on there?
No, well. Yes.
You can be taken back. Yes. Yes. Who's seated next to you, Ms. Moore?
Your Honor, this is Mr. Easterday. His matters are numbers, let's see, 12 through 14 on the docket. And I believe the state has a motion on these matters.
That's true, Your Honor.
Easter Day, did you say?
Yes.
What's the state? So the state's moving to dismiss
Yeah, pending toxicology, Your Honor.
on the reckless endangerment also?
Yes.
What's the cases are being dismissed? Will be PR'd on those. What's happening with the other case, if anything?
Nothing, Your Honor. I believe it was just linked to those.
How long is that case good for?
Your Honor, I believe he just finished the 2-year sort of initial treatment period, and there's still jurisdiction for a couple more, at least 2 more years, maybe 3.
Yeah, 2028.
What's the what's alleged to have happened in the new cases? I know they've been dismissed, but I still want to hear it.
In the new cases, Your Honor, what I believe occurred here is that Mr. Easterday was driving. There was a female passenger, and I believe there was also a minor secured in the back seat in the car seat. Arrest there. Do I have that wrong, counsel?
It sounds, I don't believe there was a minor involved.
Yeah, I don't have kids or anything.
Yeah, no, thank you. I mean, there's 2 cases there.
Give me just a second. And then what else? I mean, did they were pulled over? And what?
Yeah, no, the officer arrived and saw a vehicle, silver 2013 Acura, was on the embankment of a property. It appeared that it had been traveling eastbound and missed the turn onto Philman Road, driving directly onto the property. The driver of the property, Joshua Easterday, was identified by his Washington State identification card. He was standing at the road next to the vehicle. Officer contacted Joshua. As soon as he began to speak, he noticed watery, bloodshot eyes, strong odor of intoxicants coming from his breath. His clothes were soiled with dirt from driving around on the property after the crash, and he was missing one of his shoes. Joshua repeated that he was sorry multiple times. The officer asked if he had anything to drink. He said, yeah, but only 2. 2 of those apple drinks is what he called it. He asked him to clarify what he meant. He was unable to specify further.
Okay. So on the case ending at 2A0603562, that's on a deferred prosecution. Apparently, Ms. Moore indicated that he did complete that, but there's 3 years jurisdiction. I'm going to enter an order in that case. All prior conditions to remain. I'm to add the condition, you're to report to the Friendship Diversion Program within 48 hours to get a SCRAM device. Do you understand that? And that's going to stay until a judge says otherwise.
Your Honor,
You understand that?
understood. However, Your Honor, I'm reviewing the police report in the current case, and I think, was the court asking what happened in the sort of current incidents that were before the court, or what happened in the original underlying deferred prosecution?
In the current one.
I think that I don't see any reference to the shoes or the apple drinks in the current police report.
I think
That's the one I meant.
Yeah, let me make sure that I didn't have that wrong, Your Honor.
All right.
That one, there was no one in the vehicle.
And I'm also going to set a compliance hearing. Do that for the afternoon, just to make sure that you get, like in about a month. I want you to come and make sure that you have SCRAM hooked up on the older charge. Be on August 7th. No, in the afternoon. Yep.
All right, Your Honor, I was mistaken about that. My apologies.
What happened in the current case?
In the
then?
current case,
Alleged to have happened.
a little bit before midnight on July 4th, Sergeant Beatty was traveling south on Henderson Boulevard Southeast. He observed Jeep Liberty driving in front of him. As they approached the railroad tracks, the Liberty drove over the solid white fog line onto the shoulder by approximately 2 tire widths. Liberty drove onto the shoulder for about 3 seconds before returning into its lane of travel. As Liberty approached the intersection of Henderson, it drove over the solid white fog line. He activated his left turn signal and moved from the shoulder across the lane and into the left-hand turn lane. Sergeant Beatty activated his emergency lights and the Liberty came to a stop. He approached the driver's side of the Liberty. He observed the defendant, Joshua K. Easterday, seated in the driver's seat. He observed a female seated in the front passenger seat. No other occupants were observed. Sergeant introduced himself, advised the occupants that they would be reported. He advised the defendant of the reason for the stop. He stated something about the railroad tracks as a reason for traveling on the shoulder. He requested his license, registration, and insurance. Sergeant Beatty could smell the strong odor of intoxicants coming from the defendant's breath as he spoke. The defendant's speech was slurred. His movements appeared slow. He returned to his patrol vehicle. Trooper Casebolt arrived on scene and continued the investigation. Mr. Easterday declined the preliminary breath test. Or no, he did not decline, but both of the attempts to give the breath test produced error messages.
Was this back at the station or on site?
This was still during the contact.
To the portable breath test?
Yes.
Okay.
And during the contact, they performed a standard field sobriety test. The horizontal gaze and nystagmus returned 6 out of 6 clues. The walk and turn returned 4 out of 8 clues.
Was this a refusal? And then
it was.
It was, okay. So thank you for that. And then my order is going to stay the same. You need to get hooked up on Scram. Do you understand that? And then we're going to set a review hearing for August 7th at 1:30. You can put in the docket just to make sure that he's hooked up on Scram. And if that thing ever shows alcohol, you're going to be back here on a revocation hearing. Do you understand that?
Yep.
What about like medical or the alcohol?
Thank you, Your Honor. And is there anything else the court needs from Mr. Easterday?
Need him to not consume alcohol.
All right,
and get
thank
that
you.
Scram hooked up in 48 hours and be back here on August 7th. That's what I need from him.
All right, thank you, Your Honor.
So. Yeah. Big calendars like this. Yeah, get him out of there. More, he spent some time. Stuff and all of this. Tell him to talk to their attorney later, but especially on the big calendars. Yeah, the in custody specifically when they sit back there and chat afterwards. I understand the temptation for doing that, but we really need to keep things moving when a calendar's this big. In my opinion. And it's not a critical one, not bad or anything. It's just a hint. What's that? I didn't know this. I didn't know this. Yes, she told me that. I think she was intentionally keeping it low key. Yeah, 4th of July, I think. Ms. Griffin, who's seated next to you up there?
Your Honor, I'm here with James Flannery. I believe matters just matter 19 on the calendar.
Actually, and he's got a backup also. Looks like he has a confirmation sent on August 27th on Mr. Woody's his attorney. But on the new charge, he's here on 255. Based on the indigency screening form, I will appoint Thurston County Public Defense to represent him. Mr. Flannery, did you review your rights on this sheet of paper?
Yes.
Any questions about any of them? I need you to speak out loud, sir. Did you say no? Okay, can you speak louder, please, so I can hear you?
No questions, sir.
Thank you. You're charged with one count of domestic malicious mischief in the third degree, domestic violence related. That's a gross misdemeanor, which carries with it a maximum penalty of 364 days in jail and a $5,000 fine. A plea of not guilty will be entered. We're going to set it for future hearing. We're also going to set conditions. And I'm going to hear, what's your position on probable cause there, Ms. Griffin?
We'll stipulate to probable cause for the purpose of this hearing only.
And plea of not guilty will be entered. We'll set conditions. And I'll hear from the state, and then I'll hear from Ms. Griffin. And ma'am, what's your connection with Mr. Flannery?
I'm his mom and.
Why don't you come on up to that table there?
Your mom is here for you. Okay.
I'm scared.
Okay, so go ahead, Mr. Lindgren.
In this case, Your Honor, what's most troubling to the state is that there's already an active case going on that is harassment and malicious mischief 3 that I believe involves the same victim in this case, which is the defendant's family members. In this case, he is said to have returned to his parents' house, gone to his bedroom. Before he went to his bedroom, he kicked and damaged a shoe rack. The victims, I understand, expressed a desire not to press charges. However, officers ultimately did place him under arrest. So in this case, the state is just going to be seeking PR release with no new law violations. However, we're troubled by what we're seeing from Mr. Flannery.
So on the older case, the malicious harassment and malicious mischief. So again, that court date will remain. He has a confirmation date for August 27th. And ma'am, do you want to be heard on this?
I do.
Okay.
I do. These are both related.
Okay.
So, and I don't know if you were the judge last time on the 24th or May something, I don't know.
There's April 27th when that was.
Yes.
Okay.
So
what's going on here? How come?
So JT or James has been diagnosed with schizoaffective disorder with major depressive, and he has substance abuse.
Okay.
And if you go back to April 25th, we had been taking him, and this is why there needs to be not a no contact order, because we are his only source.
Well, no one's asking for that, so
Okay.
that's not going to happen.
Good.
You don't need to worry about that.
Good.
But what I would like to do is, and well, here's the thing though, ma'am.
I have a
How can we
Joel's
put
law.
him in position where he's not keeping to come back here? That's my,
Okay, this, I have a signed and authorized Joel's Law petition.
okay.
And when the police we've been calling DCR multiple times. We've been taking them to the hospital 4, 5, 6 times since April, trying to get him detained. And because he's sick, he's in psychosis. He believes that the FBI is following him and that has drones on him. And when I filed my petition, first of all, when I finally got him into the hospital, DCR detained him. They officially detained him for 120 hours. But because he had walked 40 miles for 14 hours, because he was trying to get away from the drones and the FBI that were hiding in the woods, his feet were bloody and blistered. So no psych hospital would take him because they didn't want to deal with the wounds. So DCR had to remove the detainment. The ER doctor the very next morning said, okay, you can go.
Okay.
They did not hold the bed for him. So he got out and he's been progressively getting worse. This last time he drove he drives erratically.
Okay.
And he drove down to Mount St. Helens, and to get away from the drones and the FBI, he swam across the Cowlitz River multiple times, fully clothed. And he's just not capable. So when we called DCR again, and I have all of this documented, when we called DCR again, that said, we've got a Joel's Law petition signed and authorized by the Superior Courts. When are you gonna
Is that
come
here in
and get
Thurston
him?
County?
Yeah, I have it. I have it
Okay.
right here. I printed it out.
So here's what I can do today, ma'am. And this is about all I can do. He's going to be released, but I'll make him subject to a DCR review today. So he's not going, and I can't have any guarantee on what they're going to do with him. But apparently they're familiar with him. He'll be released. There's not going to be a no contact order. Are you going to be able to get him, and will he listen to you? And
I will be able to get him, and he is gonna go to a hospital.
and so then, but he also, here's the other thing that you need to know about him. He has some warrants from various cases.
We
that are
were
gonna need-
starting to work on
Okay.
that. We're in the middle
I
of a
just wanna make you
social
aware of it.
security
Right.
application to try
Right.
to help him.
So he's going to be, again, so here's what we're going to do here for today. And Mr. Flannery, can you hear me?
Yes, I hear you.
Thank you. We're going to set, on the older case, you have a court date on August 27th at 9:30. That's going to remain in place. On the new case, a plea of not guilty will be entered. Conditions of your continued release are don't have any criminal law violations, don't possess a firearm or other deadly weapon. We'll set a
Can you say no drugs too?
well, I can't, I mean,
They found meth in the system on the
Okay.
medical record.
so hang
that
on, just a minute,
exasperates
ma'am.
the
Just that, hang on just a minute. Let me finish. I hear what you're saying, but given the nature, there are certain things I just can't do, even when it's obvious that maybe that's what should happen. And at this time, I'm not really in position to order that. But I am going to say that he's going to be, before he's released today, he'll meet with the DCR. And then if you could, go to there and have that order placed, but he will be reviewed by a DCR today before he's released. And then what they do and what they can do, I can't make any guarantees on that. But if you've been in contact with them, you have this order, hopefully you can meet with them if you can go over to the jail there. And I'm not sure how exactly that's going to work, but that's what's going to happen here today. And his next court date is August 27th at 9:30 on both of these cases.
Both are be together now?
Yes.
Okay.
Just for ease of, so he doesn't have multiple court hearings, and there'll be different, everything's on August 27th. The harassment and malmish, that is for trial confirmation. On the new charge, that's just for pretrial.
Okay, here is one concern that I would like you to be aware of. So the last time on the 27th,
Mhm.
it was also a DCR eval,
Mhm.
and the DCR evaled him in the jail
Mhm.
and said he has to go back to ER, and then ER said DCR eval again, and that DCR person let him go again.
Right. See, I can't control that. All I can do is have him reviewed by a DCR. And what they do is not, that's not something that I can control. I can order the review and the evaluation, but I can't tell them what to do. That's what they do. So, but that's as best I can do here for today.
Okay.
All right. And so he'll be reviewed here, but before he's released, he'll be reviewed for DCR. And best of luck to you, ma'am. I can tell you're frustrated with me,
Not you, not you.
okay, well, you're frustrated with the situation.
I'm
Thank you.
frustrated with the system that keeps failing him.
Okay, well, I'm sorry about that, but this is, this in district court, this is limited jurisdiction. I'm limited in what I could do, but I can tell this is causing you a lot of pain and frustration. I'm sorry about that, but that's just what I can do here for today.
Well, okay.
Good luck, ma'am. Yep.
Thank you.
You're welcome. And he can be taken back there, Ms. Griffin.
Thank you, Your Honor.
What's your name, sir?
Grant Loop.
Your Honor, this is Mr. Loop. His matter is number 26 and 27 on the calendar, and I am hoping, or number 26 on the calendar, excuse me. And his attorney is Ms. Day. I don't know if she's present. I am happy to stand in. I've
I
reviewed
do. She's not.
and I'm happy to stand in for today only. This should hopefully be pretty quick. Your Honor, Mr. Loop's here on a warrant return for a warrant that the JABS docket notes show was initially issued when he failed to appear at a hearing, but then he showed up late. They did hold the hearing, and the court had directed that that warrant be recalled. It appears it was not, or at least if it was, that was not communicated to law enforcement sufficient for their database. So we would ask the court to just PR Mr. Loop and set future dates.
I think dates are set.
All right, that makes sense. Then maintain future dates would be the request.
So across the warrant, and then it looks like was any of those canceled? He's still got court dates on the 8th. Mr. Lindgren?
State concurs, Your Honor.
He'll be released. All prior conditions remain. Your next court date is August 8th at 10 a.m. That's it for today. You're free to go.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you, Your Honor.
You'll get released here later today. That's for confirmation, right? Yeah. Who's seated next to you there, Ms. Griffin?
Your Honor, I'm here with Mr. Joseph Pitts. He's matter number 32 on the calendar and 33, I believe.
Hello, Your Honor.
He's here on malicious mischief in the 3rd degree and driving with license suspended on the 2nd degree. Did you review with him his legal rights?
I did, Your Honor.
Any questions about any of those rights?
Yes, sir.
And then is he seeking court-appointed counsel?
He will be seeking court-appointed counsel, and I do believe that his financial circumstances qualify him for our representation.
I'll appoint Thurston County Public Defense to represent him. We're going to set conditions of pleas of not guilty will be entered on both cases. We're going to set conditions of release. I'm going to hear from the state. Then I'll hear from Ms. Griffin.
Your Honor, the allegations in this case are that Mr. Pitts struck a shopping cart in a Winco parking lot, and then, of course, when he was contacted by police, his license came back suspended. However, what's concerning to the state here is that he has, I believe, 5 convictions for violation of a protection order. So there's some reason, and a bit of warrant history. So there's some reason to believe that Mr. Pitts may not follow the orders of this court. So the state is just asking for $500 bail with no new law violations and only drive with valid license and insurance. And stay away from Winco.
Ms. Griffin.
Your Honor, we would be asking that Mr. Pitts is released on his personal recognizance today. Those no contact order violations that Mr. Lindgren is referring to are very, very old. We have good updated contact information for Mr. Pitts. He can receive text message reminders on his phone number, and we can also give him instructions on how to join court via Zoom. I don't think that there's reason to believe at this point that he's not going to appear in court, so we would be asking that he's released without bail.
Are
He
you out
also
on bail in Superior Court?
Yes, Your Honor. And I also take care of an elderly lady who has dementia and diabetes. So she's very dependent upon me being there with her.
Is the allegation that he intentionally hit the shopping cart?
No, it sounds like it was, I mean, it sounds like he backed into a shopping cart and then left the scene. And that he was agitated and that Winco reported a disorderly individual.
Disorderly, how so?
That he was apparently visibly angry in the parking lot. I believe he was on the phone with someone. When his passenger, actually it was, came out of the Winco with the shopping cart, he backed up into the shopping cart. There was.
Did the passenger get in the car?
Yes. The passenger is who relayed this in detail to the police after the stop.
Got it.
And Your Honor, if I may, I would like to reiterate what Mr. Pitts just shared. He is responsible for an elderly lady who has dementia as well as diabetes. So he's dealing with the stress from that. And I believe that he had recently lost custody of his son when the shopping cart incident took place. So it's my understanding that it was a very emotionally charged moment for him and it wasn't his intent to be destructive or cause damage.
Given the nature of the charge, I'm not going to set bail. I'll allow you to be released on the conditions are on the malicious mischief and the third, which frankly sounds a little bit more like a hit and run unattended, but that's just how it seems to me. But the conditions are don't have any criminal law violations, don't drive without license or insurance, stay away from Winco.
Yes, sir.
Your next court date is August 13th at 10 a.m.
Yes, sir.
And if you miss court date, the reason I ask about that bail, that could be a reason for them to revoke bail in your Superior Court case. And if you're truly interested in looking after, did you say 9:30?
Join on Zoom, okay?
An elderly individual and things of that sort, you're going to conduct yourself in a way that doesn't get you put there. You understand?
Yes,
That
sir.
means obey the rules of the road, don't drive unless you have a license or insurance, and don't hit shopping carts or
Yes, sir.
anything else.
Yes, sir.
Your Honor, did you say 10 a.m. or 10:30 a.m. for that next date?
I said 10.
Thank you.
I meant 10. I can't say for sure what I said, but what I meant was 10. You have a cell phone for text reminders? Did you provide that?
Yes, sir.
Absolutely, and they'll give you a packet of information when you need to.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
Did you say you did provide a cell phone number there, Ms. Griffin?
It should be on there, yes. I can also ping it to the court clerk if that's easier.
Yes, if you could do that, that would be great.
I'm ready to tell us the number as well.
I have your phone number.
No,
So I
I'm
can-
saying another number as well.
Is this?
Mr. Shashevsky, this is what I'm talking about. Ms. Griffin, he can be taken back. We can call the next individual.
Thank you.
Who is this, Ms. Griffin?
I'm here with Marty Murphy, number 30 on the calendar.
And he's your preliminary appearance on a domestic violence related case, and someone's here on his behalf. Who was that? Was that you folks? Great, thank you. So you are Marty Murphy?
Yes, sir.
And then on, is a preliminary appearance on the domestic violence related case for what is the state seeking probable cause?
Harassment DV, Your Honor.
And are you appearing on this case, Mr. Shashevsky?
I'm not, just joking around.
All right, you just stood up. That's what made me think that. I need a JNS in this case. Based on the identity rescreening form that you have submitted, I'll appoint Thurston County Public Defense to represent you. Did you review your legal rights on this sheet of paper?
Yes, sir.
Any comment as to probable cause there, Ms. Griffin?
Your Honor, we'll be stipulating a probable cause for the purposes of this hearing only.
And then, so based on that, I'll find probable cause for harassment. I will appoint Thurston County Public Defense to represent you. We're going to set an arraignment date for a week from the day after tomorrow. We're also going to set conditions of release. I'm going to hear from the state, and then I'll hear from Ms. Griffin. Mr. Lindgren?
The state recommends PR release with no new law violations, no firearms or deadly weapons, and an NCO for the victim.
Ms. Griffin?
Your Honor, we would be objecting to the no contact order. He lives with his wife, and so a no contact order would effectively make Mr. Murphy without housing. And it's my understanding from the police report that his wife was not necessarily fearful of Mr. Murphy in that moment, and it was a one-off incident that had occurred between them.
And then you folks, what's your relationship with Mr. Murphy?
This is why I'm his brother.
Okay, so you're Brandy Murphy?
Yes, I am.
Okay, do you wish to be heard on this?
I do.
Come on up to the table. Give me a moment, ma'am. Thank you. So ma'am, you've heard what the state's requesting on conditions. I'll
Well,
hear from you.
I would just like to offer how I feel or some information about the no contact thing as well. We have been together 30 years. It's unlikely that this will inevitably separate us. I'm concerned, I'm not scared, I'm not a victim, I didn't call.
He called.
Yeah, he was that confused.
Were people consuming alcohol down there?
Yes. However, like I said, and then so he's recently been
Everybody?
disabled. Huh?
Everybody consuming alcohol?
Well, myself and my husband and my daughter live in that home, and my daughter was asleep. She was not.
How old's your daughter?
20, she's gonna be 22 in August.
Okay.
There's no minor kids in the house. He's got COPD recently, been disabled because of it.
COPD.
Yes, he can't breathe. He has oxygen machines at home. He's already spent all night off of his oxygen machine, which he's supposed to be on every night and most of the time during the day. He takes 3 special high-powered antibiotics right now for some stuff growing in his lungs that he's missing right now. You know, it's his home, it's our home, we want him home. If we could just, we realize that there will be ramifications for this. You know.
Say that again.
Ramifications, we understand that this is, you know.
Well, Mr. Lindgren, I'll hear from you.
Considering the medical situation with an oxygen machine, Your Honor, the state would withdraw the request for the NCO.
So he's going to be released, but I'm going to do something that no
Yes.
one's mentioned yet.
Okay, no, I'm
And
sure.
that is, he's going to be released on his personal recognizance. Conditions of his continued release or don't have any criminal law violations. He's not to possess a firearm or other deadly weapon. He's also to report to pretrial services within 48 hours of right now, and I'm going to give you a copy of that with the phone number on it.
Sure.
He's also to report to the Friendship Diversion Program for right now, and the reason for that is he's to get an alcohol monitor that's to go on his ankle to make sure he's not drinking. The best way you can support him is not to drink as well.
Well, of course, yeah.
And the, you know, all those health conditions that you have just relayed to me,
Yeah, it
I
was a
can't
long-
believe,
it
let me
was a
finish,
long
I'm not
holiday weekend.
done
It
yet,
wasn't-
ma'am, I'm not done yet. My point is, I can't believe any doctor would think it's a great idea to drink alcohol when you're suffering from that type of thing.
No,
And
sir.
so if he's really concerned about his health, he's not going to drink. And also if he's concerned about his freedom, he's not going to drink because we're going to know if he takes any alcohol. And then if he does, we'll be back here. But his next court date is July 16th at 9 a.m. for arraignment. And then I'll expect him to have that biological alcohol monitoring device hooked up before then. So given your comments, combined with the position of the state, I'm not going to do a no contact order at this time.
Thank you, sir.
You can thank me by everybody behaving themselves out there.
Absolutely.
And hang on just a minute, ma'am. I'm going to give you a copy of this order because he'll bring it to you. Go back and sit down. But, and actually, one last thing, do you have a cell phone we could send text reminders of courts to?
Yes, 509-792-8490.
Did you get that? 509-792-8490. Thank you. You may go, ma'am. He'll be released here later today. You can go out there and pick him up near where the jail is, if you know where that is. Ms. Griffin, who's seated next to you up there?
Your Honor, I'm here with Mr. Roy Benningfield. I'm not sure what matter number he is. I'm just getting started here with him.
There's two Benefields on here, but this is Roy.
This is Roy Acuff Benningfield. He should be matter number 4 on the calendar.
You're not a country western fan, are you? It's Roy Acuff.
Roy Acuff.
I know who that is. And in fact, that's not the only Roy Acuff Benefield, is there?
Roy Benningfield Jr. and the third.
That's right. No, I'm familiar with, you and I have had a conversation about that name before, haven't we? Yes. Okay, so Mr. Benefield. You're here on arraignment on 2 counts of animal cruelty in the 2nd degree. Based on the indigency screening form, I'll appoint Thurston County Public Defense to represent him. Did you review your rights on this sheet of paper?
Yes, sir.
Any questions about any of them?
No, sir.
Pleas of not guilty will be entered. We're going to set conditions.
Not guilty, sir.
Okay, yeah, well, the plea of not guilty will be entered. Wait, just stop here for a minute. Well, you're going to, the pleas of not guilty will be entered. But what we're also going to do is I'm going to ask Ms. Griffin about probable cause, which doesn't mean anything has been proven beyond a reasonable doubt. You have a position on probable cause to these 2 charges there, Ms. Griffin.
We will be stipulating a probable cause for the purposes of this hearing only.
And so now, Mr. Benningfield, we're going to set conditions of release. And I'm going to hear from the state, and then I'll hear from Ms. Griffin. Mr. Lindgren.
Your Honor, the animals at the center of this case reside at a property that's at 17045 Canal Road Southeast. This apparently includes incidents in which one of them has been struck multiple times in the face with a closed fist and then struck on the back of its body with a stick. Similar incidents have happened to the other animals. This is allegedly continued for over a year. And this has been, this was reported by the reporting party, Ramona Crawford. It was corroborated by, I believe, her brother, and a neighbor also spoke about seeing this happen dozens of times.
Has animal control done anything about any of this?
Not to my knowledge, Your Honor. I believe this was the first time it's brought to the attention of the authorities. But for the reason due to the kind of sustained nature of the abuse alleged.
What kind of animals?
Dogs, Your Honor, a German Shepherd and a Red Heeler mix.
And a what?
A Red Heeler mix. And one of the allegations brought up is that the reporting party and her brother produced a stick that was apparently used to strike the dog, and the officer found what appeared to be dried blood on the stick. And so the state would be recommending PR release with no new law violations, but also that he stay away from 17045 Canal Road.
Does he live there?
I'm not sure myself, Your Honor.
Okay.
Yes, he does.
So how old are these dogs?
I have my Gerber German Shepherd, she's about 15, 16 months old.
Okay.
My Red Heeler, she's a little over 2 years old, and the mixed.
These are your dogs?
Yes, yes, they are. One of them.
Okay, so I don't want to talk about allegations, but, and then he lives with you? Okay, how many people live there?
It's me, my husband, my dad, and my little brother.
Okay, is he your dad? Okay. So who cares for the dogs?
My dad, my little brother, as well as myself and my husband, when I'm not working.
Okay. I mean, is there any place, again, I don't want to comment on what, you've heard these allegations, and they're just allegations right now. And he's going to be released, but I think there's some legitimate concern with him being around these dogs. And so I'm wondering if there's a place where either he can go alternatively, or the dogs can go someplace.
2 of them are being rehomed tomorrow, but I still have 1 more at home.
Okay. Why? And then how many, is that one going to be rehomed also?
That's my service dog.
Okay. Is that one of the dogs at issue in this case? How many dogs? Do you have 3 dogs total?
Yes.
Does he have any place he can go? Do you have any other family members?
California.
How long has he been up here?
A little over a year. All of our family lives in California.
And then was the reporter a neighbor?
The reporting party was Ramona Crawford, who called about domestic disturbance and argument between Mr. Benningfield and I believe his brother. The officer spoke both to Ms. Crawford, but also to a neighbor. A neighbor spoke about witnessing the abuse 40 to 50 times, I believe.
I see. And then Ramona Crawford, is that either one of you folks? Is that you, ma'am?
Yes. Sorry, this is my sister.
That's okay. And then David Benningfield, he's going to be here in a minute. Was that a relationship?
That's my cousin.
I see. Does he live there too?
He was a guest while I wasn't there.
Oh, I see. So he's on a warrant return.
Found that out too.
What's that?
I found that one out too.
Okay. So what can we do? I don't want to put him out on the street, but I want to make sure these dogs are safe.
Yes.
So how can we do that?
The person who was taking 2 of the dogs ended up backing out. If animal control can come and get the German Shepherd and the German Shepherd
I
Cross.
can stay in my car. I can sleep in a station wagon.
Okay, so hang on just a minute there, Mr. Benningfield.
If you guys can get animal control to come and get the German.
Well, I
Shepherd.
can't, that's not something I can do. That's
Well,
not,
I can call them. I can get somebody to come out and get them and relinquish them. It's just pretty sad and pathetic that my little brother can't have a dog without my dad beating the shit out of it.
okay, so don't,
Because my brother's a vocal autistic, he's a vocal autistic.
right.
That's why I got the dog for him.
And then your service dog?
My service dog is the purebred red healer. Rango.
And does is this your dad?
Yes, this is my biological father, yes.
Okay. And then, does he just hang around the house pretty much during the day? Does he get on Social Security or what have you?
He likes to call it his old folks money.
Okay. I mean, is he home? How often is he home there alone?
When I go to my doctor's or when I'm at work.
All right. And do you live there too, ma'am?
No, she lives in Centralia. My husband goes out to work. We own a chimney business. My little brother, he's one of us.
Right. And he's the one who you said was autistic, is that
Yeah,
correct?
yes, he's a borderline and vocal autistic. I got him the dog for that reason.
No, I understand that. Um,
You're on it.
yes.
If I have to, I can remove the other two dogs and take the red healers to my sister's.
Okay.
I won't be residing there. My dad can stay there.
Yeah, that's a big sacrifice you're making, ma'am.
It's not a big deal.
You know,
My sister.
don't sell yourself short. But what I'm gonna do is this, then, that he's gonna be released on his personal recognizance. He's not to have any criminal law violations, and he's basically not to have any contact with dogs right now. So he can't live in the same place. And I appreciate, the accommodations you're making. And that's really about all I can do at this point. And it's just, like, you're not required to do that. I'm not sure who the homeowner is, but if that's, yeah, I mean, you can, if you want to live in your home with those dogs, you
I
can
can stay with my sister. It's
force them
not a big
out.
deal.
And while this is pending, and maybe something can get worked out. And it kind of sounds like, maybe I'm saying too much, that your father might need some help and mental health help and all that sort of stuff. And maybe if he gets that, maybe he can get himself in a position where he can be around animals. But for right now, it's just not safe for them. It's just not.
Maybe the drinking, maybe if he cuts that off and gets his head, out of his, where maybe he would stop beating the crap out of dogs.
Okay, so we're not trying the case right now, but that's,
So I'm just saying.
okay, all right. So his next court date. What's that? So again, he's don't have any criminal law violations, don't have any contact with any dogs, make all court dates. His next court date is August 13th at 10 a.m. That's on for pre-trial. I will appoint Thurston County Public Defense to represent you. Do you have a cell phone? We could send text reminders.
I can get the phone number. He doesn't do texting, but
Okay.
I do.
Do you have a phone number that,
Yeah, yes, I do.
what is that?
It's 253-375-4926.
Thank you. And so, Mr. Benningfield, you're going to get contact for Thurston County Public Defense. I want to strongly urge you to contact that office within a week so you can start talking to people about your case.
Okay,
That's it for today.
okay.
You can be taken back. You'll get released here later today. You guys are for Ibarra, correct? Ms. Griffin, who's seated next to you?
Correct.
Your Honor, this is Mr. Taylor Martello. He is matter number 27 on the calendar.
Looks like he missed an arraignment.
Yes, Your Honor, he missed an arraignment. He was in custody either in Nisqually or somewhere in Monroe. He can't remember which. He was there for a DOC violation, and that's why he wasn't able to appear in court.
Yes, Your Honor, I'm sorry.
Did you review your legal rights on this sheet of paper?
Yes, sir, I did.
Any questions about any of them?
No, sir.
I'll appoint Thurston County Public Defense to represent you.
Okay.
And you are Taylor Martello?
Yes, yes, I am.
Probable cause was previously established for 4 counts of protection order violation. Pleas of not guilty will be entered on all 4 counts. I will appoint Thurston County Public Defense to represent you based on the indigency screening form. I'm going to hear from the state on conditions of release, and then I'll hear from Ms. Griffin. Mr.
Your Honor, the NCO at issue in this case stems from a felony assault to strangulation conviction. And the allegations here are that Mr. Martello made 44 calls to the protected party from jail. He currently has 2 active warrants in Countless County due to the huge number of contacts in this case that are alleged, and the fact that they stem from such a serious violent crime. Bail would be warranted in this case. So the state is asking for PR or for $5,000 bail, excuse me, with no criminal law violations, abide by the NCO, no firearms, or deadly weapons.
Ms. Griffin?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I'll let you go. Oh, sorry.
Your Honor, we would be objecting to the $5,000 bail amount. Given Mr. Martello's financial situation, that's tantamount to a no bail hold. He has currently a displaced patella and a ruptured tendon and has a referral to see an orthopedic surgeon. He's currently using a walker and wearing a brace. And
But most important, I have a drug and alcohol treatment today. I have a bed date today for drug and alcohol treatment at ABHS, and I'm trying to get into that, sir. I have no money or no way to post bail. I'm asking for your court's leniency to please give me PR so I can attend treatment.
So how did he get here? It looks like his address is in Ariel.
No, that was my old address. I was in
What's your current address?
My current address is 102 Southwest 4th Street, Battleground, Washington. It's my stepmother's home. I couch surf there, but I was in Nisqually, and Nisqually brought me here last night, and I had a fall. That's what with the getting out of the van. That's why I got the the cast and stuff right now, and an orthopedic surgeon. I'm supposed to follow up and see an orthopedic
How
surgeon.
long have you been in Nisqually?
I was in Nisqually for 2 weeks doing a violation, and that's when I got my bed date for. I was supposed to go today from Nisqually to ABHS, but Thurston County came and picked me up in the middle of the night last night.
All right.
But there is a bed date for me, and Shahela's waiting for me right now, and I'm really anxious to get this going. I would hope the court could work with me on this, please, sir.
What I will do is this, there, given that you have warrants in both in this case, had been out for a while, as well as Cowlitz County and other warrants. I'm gonna set bail the amount requested. We'll do a quick pretrial setting. And if you consult with your attorney, I will appoint Thurston County Public Defense to represent you. Consult with that attorney. You can get a furlough in place where you can get furloughed to go to treatment. We do that sort of thing all the time.
Okay.
Other conditions are don't have any criminal law violations, comply with any, don't possess a firearm or other deadly weapon, comply with any existing no contact order. We can do
So
a
it's-
pretrial
Your
on
Honor.
July 23rd at 10:30. If you're still in custody, that can be set over to the in custody calendar. And if you meet with your attorney from Thurston County Public Defense, if you get something in place earlier, you can bring that back and we can enter a furlough that sends you to treatment. You wanted to say something?
Yeah, there's no way I can get out today to go to treatment.
This is the decision I make. This is the decision I'm making here today there, Mr. Martello.
Okay. So you have?
Bail's been set. And like I say, you meet with an attorney, we can be as quickly as the next couple of days. You can get a furlough to go to treatment.
Do you have the number, or they'll call me, or what? How does that
No,
work?
but she does. That person sitting next to you does. She'll give you all the information you need. 5,000. Who's doing that? On a 3-day weekend with 4th of July, I knew it'd be big. Charlotte's gonna be furious with me. She's supposed to get, she can get picked up anytime after 4 or 3:30. Get there as early as you can. I said, well, I'll try, but I got till 5:30, so I'm good. Ms. Griffin, who's seated next to you up there?
Your Honor, I'm here with Mr. Robert Creighton. I believe Mr. Stashevsky is handling his matter today.
Your Honor, I will pass over to Mr. Lincoln. I believe the state has a motion in Mr. Creighton's case.
Yes, Your Honor, the state's going to dismiss this one pending toxicology.
What's happening with the infraction?
State's going to take no position on the infraction.
So Mr. Creighton, this case is going to be dismissed without prejudice, which means they could choose to refile. The traffic infraction remains. So you need to respond to that seatbelt infraction. Do you understand that?
Yes.
And you have a pending, oh no, hang on just a second. No, you don't. Looks like you have a pending case up at Faircrest or Fife.
Five.
That's it. You'll get released on this.
Okay.
Yes, just like you did. You're free to go back there, Mr. Creighton. You'll get released here later today. Who's seated next to you there, Ms. Moore?
Your Honor, this is Mr. Ibarra. I believe he has some folks in the courtroom, it sounds like.
He does. They've
Yes.
been more patient than we deserve, but thank you. Yes. You're Antonio Ibarra? Is your name Antonio Ibarra?
Yes.
Okay.
And Your Honor, I have advised Mr. Ibarra of his rights. I do believe he understands them. We discussed them. We are not contesting probable cause for today's purposes only, and Mr. Ibarra is not seeking appointment of public defense at this time. He plans to hire private counsel. However, I do have a good phone number and mailing address that I can forward to Madam Clerk.
25911.
Okay. So you're charged with 1 count of driving under the influence of alcohol and or drugs. That's a gross misdemeanor. Carries with it a maximum penalty of 364 days in jail and a $5,000 fine. Plea of not guilty will be entered. We're going to set conditions of release. I'm going to hear from the state, and then I'll hear from Ms. Moore. Mr. Lindgren.
Your Honor, this Mr. Ibarra has a prior DUI conviction amended to reckless driving that's just from 2023. In this case, the BAC alleged is I believe, here, let me, 0.126. Trooper observed him trying to get onto I-5 going the wrong way up the off-ramp. And so, I mean, Mr. Ibarra it's based on the allegations, reoffending very quickly after his original DUI, and also came dangerously close to causing some sort of traffic collision. And so in this case, the state is just asking for $5,000 bail with heightened DUI conditions, including a scram device.
Ms. Moore?
Your Honor, recognizing it's unlikely, we would ask that Mr. Ibarra be released on his own recognizance, or if the court is going to set bail, to set it no higher than $2,000. He does work and makes decent money, but $5,000 would be a pretty big lift for him. And he is entitled to the presumption of release on the least restrictive conditions, and the presumption of bail that I think means, it sort of implies bail that is not going to be tantamount to a no bail hold. That said, there's no objection to the other conditions referenced, and I just, yes, would ask that he be released on his own recognizance, or that bail be no higher than $2,000.
What's your relationship with him?
Mother.
Okay, and then are you brother? So thank you for being here, first of all. And it looks like he has an ignition interlock, no ignition interlock out of Lakewood. Is that right? So he's got a court date coming up on that also.
Actually, that was resolved. He had the breathing treatment and everything's done. He just kind of like.
That's unfortunate. But given he's lucky, very lucky that he got spotted by law enforcement, just getting on the freeway in the wrong direction. That's and I know these are just allegations, but given the circumstance, the driving pattern, I do find, frankly, that it's a threat to public safety. And so I'm going to set bail in the amount requested by the state. It'll be $5,000 cash or bond if that's posted, which is a makeable bail. He's not to have any criminal law violations. Don't drive without license or insurance. Don't consume any alcohol. Don't refuse a breath test. Stay out of bars and taverns. Any car you drive needs to be equipped with an ignition interlock device. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
And you may have lost your license because of this too, but you need to have an ignition interlock. You're
Yes,
also,
sir.
I'm not done yet. You're to report to pretrial services within 48 hours. You're to report to the Friendship Diversion Program also with 48 hours to get a biological alcohol monitoring device. If you don't do those things and no bail warrants can issue, you'll get pulled in here, and then we're just going to hang on to you until the case resolves. That means you're going to lose your job, your ability to provide for others. Do you understand all that?
Yes, sir.
I hope so. We'll do. Your next court date's going to be, don't go on, maybe July 30th. Can we do that? July 30th, we'll do it at 10:30. And then, actually, he said he's going to hire an attorney, didn't he? Is he going to hire an attorney?
Yeah, that's my understanding, yes, Your Honor.
So we'll do July 29th. At what time? In the morning?
Just do 10.
At 10 in the morning. And if he doesn't make bail, that'll need to get set over to the afternoon. But when you come back here in court, if you're out, I need that biological alcohol monitoring device, the bracelet that goes on your ankle. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
I hope so. Yes, ma'am.
He's not gonna be driving. So,
Great. But sometimes people make that pledge to me and yet still we find them there. But if he gets behind the wheel, he needs to have an ignition interlock device. And like I say, if he's not driving, then doesn't need to worry about it. But any car he drives, he needs to have that. And he'll definitely need to have that biological alcohol monitoring device.
Yes, sir.
We're going to print off an order for you in a minute, and it's going to have those phone numbers for both those places, for the pretrial services and the biological alcohol monitoring device. I'm sorry? I need to hear, I can't hear you. You go over to the Thurston County Correctional Facility. I'm sorry? You can go out to where the security is and the metal detector. They'll tell you how to get there. And hang on just a second, Mr. Shashevsky, could you show them the phone numbers they need to call to get him hooked up to Scram? You can be taken back there, Mr. Ibarra. What's that? Okay, great. You're welcome.
thank you, sir.
Who's this, Ms. Griffin?
Your Honor, I'm here with Mr. Joshua Eastman. I believe he's matters 15, 16, and 17 on the calendar today.
Got an arraignment on a DUI. The others looks like to be backups.
Yes.
Are those post disposition or are those pending?
3 are on an SOC, Your Honor. One of them is post disposition with a guilty plea.
Got it. So Mr. Eastman.
Yes.
Did you review your legal rights on this sheet of paper?
Yes, I did.
Any questions?
No, sir.
So these medical expenses, is that not covered by insurance or how did those get incurred?
When my son was hit by the car, his insurance had lapsed and we had got the insurance reinstated. But in the meantime, from the surgery and the hospital stay is what occurred those bills.
All right, that's unrelated to this.
Yes.
Have you on a payment plan for those? Are those going to be written off or?
I'm
asking these questions for the purposes, because given the amount of money you make, you don't qualify for court appointed counsel. And so, but then there's a complicating factor on this pretty big debt. And so that's kind of why I'm asking you these questions. I don't mean to get too personal.
No, it's okay. I can explain it to you. So right now we're waiting to see if the insurance company is going to cover anything, but we also were told to sue the woman that hit him, and they're waiting to see if her insurance is going to pay for it or what's going to happen. But right now they're billing us for it, my wife and I.
Right. I'll appoint Thurston County Public Defense to represent you. I'll require that you pay $200 to defray the cost. And you have a position on probable cause on the new charge there, Ms. Griffin.
We will be stipulating to probable cause for the purposes of this hearing only.
In a plea of not guilty will be entered. This matter will get set for future hearing. We're going to set conditions of release. I'll hear from the state, and then I'll hear from Ms. Griffin.
Your Honor, Mr. Eastman has a prior DUI out of Olympia from 2011. In this case, Mr. Eastman is reported to have accelerated at a high rate of speed past 3 other drivers. And then as he approached an intersection, he braked very suddenly and there was nearly a collision with the drivers, striking his vehicle from the back. And the BAC in this case ranged from 0.139 to 0.142. So for the interest of public safety, some bail is warranted here. The state would ask for $5,000 bail with heightened DUI conditions, including a scram device.
Ms. Griffin?
Your Honor, we would be asking for a bail amount of no more than $1,000. Mr. Eastman is the legal caretaker for his mother, and as he mentioned, his 12-year-old son is having some medical complications after being in a car accident. He has a broken leg, and so that's posing new responsibilities that he needs to be there to care for, as well as some financial difficulties for him and his family. He has doctor's appointments coming up next week for both his mother, his son, and himself. If he's not out, he'll also lose his job, and he's responsible for, financially responsible for a lot of people at the moment. So we would ask that bail be set at $1,000, which is the max amount that he can afford at this time.
What time of the day was this?
About 10:30.
You know, I don't know what happened with your son, other than what you've told me. You know, you have, and I hear with those, your commitments and obligations, and you have a prior DUI. I don't understand why you wouldn't be striving to, again, conduct yourself in a manner that eliminates this possibility. And but again, given what's been alleged, I'll make a finding that, again, it's a, you have every incentive in the world to keep yourself out of the situation you're in right now. Yet here we are for the second time. And so I'm going to set bail in the amount requested. It's going to be 5,000 cash or bond. If that's posted, don't have any criminal law violations. Don't drive without license or insurance. Don't consume any alcohol or have any controlled substances out of our prescription. Don't refuse a breath test. Stay out of bars and taverns. Any car you drive needs to be equipped with an ignition interlock device. You're to get a biological alcohol monitoring device within 48 hours of right now. Report to pretrial services and the friendship diversion program to make sure you comply with that latter condition, and the phone numbers will be on the release order. You know, given the amount of money you make, I do expect that you'll be able to bond out. But if there's any violations, either don't get the scram, get a positive for alcohol reading on the scram, you know, all this is going to be lost.
Okay.
Do you understand that?
I understand that. Yes, sir.
I hope so. Your next court date is going to be when we go, July 30th, just in case he doesn't bond out. July 30th at 10:30. And that's it for today.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
That's it for today. And yes, and the other cases will just be backed up to it.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Is there not? Do I need to do orders on those, or can you just do it? No. Actually, I will, because if jail gets, they get confused. Yeah, I'll do orders. So it looks like Mr. Benefield's the last one. Sorry about that. It always seems to work out that way, and I have no,
I remember you.
what's that?
I remember you. Years ago when I used to get in trouble.
Was that in juvenile court? Okay,
I beat my brother in the head with a cereal bowl.
okay.
I was 19.
All right, hang on just a minute. We'll come back to that off the record, but right now, what date did I say? July 30 at 10, at 10? At 10:30. And then those are gonna be, we'll call that pre-FTC. So are you Mr. David Benningfield?
Yes, Your Honor, I am.
Your Honor, I
Looks
believe
like
Mr. Krzyzewski asked this matter, is all I was gonna say.
This is a warrant return. And Mr. Krzyzewski.
Thank you, Your Honor. I spoke with Mr. Benningfield earlier this morning. Defense's request would be that the warrant be quashed. Mr. Benningfield missed an April 10th compliance hearing, Your Honor, and it related to me that he was in California from early April through June, helping his dad get set up an in-home support services.
Is that the dad we saw earlier? No, okay. What are the allegations? Is it just a new law violation or are there anything?
It's related to affirmatives, and one piece of information I wanted to share there was that I checked public defense's file and found a substance use evaluation. And this morning I provided it to probation as well as Mr. Lindgren.
What did the evaluation say?
I believe it recommended ADIS, Your Honor. It's my recollection.
That has not been done yet? We'll set a compliance hearing for sometime in late August. So Mr. Lindgren, what's the state's position and where we go from here?
Your Honor, we can just quash the warrant, reset compliance review. Or that's what the state would ask.
We'll take care of the warrant. You'll get released. Your next court date is August 28th.
Yes, Your Honor.
We can do this one in the afternoon. Yeah. At 1:30.
Okay, I will be there.
And that's it for today. Do we have a cell phone number for you?
Yes, you do.
Okay, I think we already got it. All right, that's it for today.
All right, Mona.
You're free to go.
Okay, thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you, Your Honor.
You're welcome.
Is that the end of the calendar?
We're all done. Got it in by 5.
Got it in by 5. That is
4 minutes to spare.
remarkable. Thank you, Your Honor. Thanks, counsel.
Thank you. Mona, I'll be outside, honey. Love you.
We can stop off. We're going to check out of YouTube.